let's talk more about those numbers now. We've got Joseph Busher from JM Busher Investments joining us to talk through some of those movements. I said it in my intro, Mr. Busher, it's been a very, very volatile trading day on the JSE. We saw broad-based losses. I mean, your thoughts on that? I did see earlier on that market participants are watching closely at the rising inflation globally, and it's really just making everybody a little bit nervous.
It's a mixed bag. If you look at it, we have the industrials, the banks or financial stocks really taking a hammering. And this has really continued. Last night or yesterday, we're up just 1/3 of a percent. And today, overall market is down 1.2%, both the all share index and the top 40. You have some few shares that have basically just tried to hold up a little bit. You're looking at BHP Billiton, Exxaro was up. But on the downside, Impala, we know that it has been trying to buy RBH flat for a while now. That transaction hasn't really concluded. But I think, the issues around the growth of the economy, which you mentioned in your intro, is still hindering on. 1.9 for the first quarter. In first quarter 2021 was 1.2. Certainly an improvement because of the easing of the COVID restrictions. Also, you saw that China basically started easing as well, which improves trade, retail in particular. But the IMF just ended reporting that they're still concerned about the outlook, in particular employment, poverty and inequality in SA.
No, absolutely. And as you speak about GDP, I wanted to get into the rand strength that we've been seeing, even stronger today after the announcement of South Africa's economy growing in the first quarter of this year. Your thoughts on the rand strength over the last few days and whether it's sustainable?
Well, it might not be sustainable because remember also we have the central bank, our Reserve Bank, trying to move from a surplus model into a deficit model. So that might also just bring a little bit of volatility into that. The targets, inflation targeting won't change. But I think what might help the rand really is, the Chinese easing out restrictions, as I said earlier, because, that just improves trade and so on. So it has been very, very strong, the rand, but I think, it might be, kind of for a short period, given the volatility we have seen over the last 2 months also. We were at about 1535 sometime in March, and all of a sudden, it weakened again towards 1590, 1575. So the jury is not out, but we do hope that once the electricity and the manufacturing side, hospitality, that also have improved quite a lot, that will basically support the rand.
And then Omnia, we had results, just an update from them, expecting their profits to double in their reporting period, and that's despite port delays, supplier issues. They were still able to produce a pretty solid set of figures, or they say they're going to be producing a good set of figures.
It was once my favorite, in the old days around 2000, it was considered to be a very nice defensive stock until it ran into some few problems because of that. But I think, this is one of the biggest fertilizer producers in SADC, as I'm aware, and I think given the constraints happening in Russia, we are hoping that Omnia will be able to ramp up, production in fertilizer and some of the chemicals. Headline earnings per share up about 77%. So that's really good showing. I think just given the past it came from. So I think it's good to see. But certainly, I think given the supply shortage that might happen coming from Russia, we're hoping that it will be able to step in.
No, absolutely, Mr. Busher. Thank you very much, as always, for your time this evening. That's Joseph Busher from JM Busher Investments. Sally, I'll be back in the next bulletin speaking to an economist about those numbers. What are the positives and what we still need to work on?